I know there's talk about how good Ricky is at putting, Paul, but Gannon Buhr is the best putter in the world. I don't think it's close right now.
Let's go over why Gannon's season was sick. All right, so first off, let's just go over how he performed this year. So discarding his top 10 finishes that weren't on the podium, which was actually a ton, it was like 15. But if you just count podium finishes, third at Pro Tour, third at Ledgestone, second at Vegas, second at Mid-American, first at Champions Cup, and first at USDGC. And I gotta say, I think Vegas was pretty much like 90% of the time he wins that. So I count that as like a half win. And that just shows his level of consistency already at 17 years old. He seems to have this Paul-esque ability to just make shots happen. Over and over, he has shots that just seem to hit a certain tree, hit a certain way, and go right up to the basket, like this one right here. And I think that kind of shows like it's not just luck if it keeps on happening. It is skill and repeatable skill. Here we see him winning his first Silver Series, which he probably thought was going to be like the biggest point of his year. But nope. Winning USDGC was his biggest point of the year. And he has this repeatable pattern where he can putt lights out over and over. I honestly have tried it. I don't get it. I've watched his videos, watched a lot of his tutorials. I cannot fathom how he can do it so consistently. And here, he gets eagles like it's nothing. And I just wish I could have that ability because, man, it is just awesome to watch him. He has this lanky arm, lanky backswing that just seems to work and generate so much power. So I'm really excited to see where he's going to end up, because if this is his 17th year, just as a human, not even as on tour, then I think he will have a lot of longevity. He has so much consistent ability. And he has putts like these where, honestly, I'm not even looking to hit the chains. I'm just like, let's just get close to the basket. And he just drains it again. And I was watching these clips back, and I was just like, man, it seems like every putt is just a replay of the last putt. And I think that kind of just shows like he has the ability to perform Circle 2 putts so consistently that it's just a new skill that no one else has possessed so far in tour. I think Paul has like edged that. I think Ricky has gotten close, but nobody has gotten to where Circle 2 putts are just a reflex. You just do it over and over. And I think USDGC was that perfect reference point where he just made putts where it mattered and did not miss. He had a couple of flukes on some drives. He had a couple of upshots that didn't go his way. I think it's probably the biggest complaint I have for his game so far is his upshots make him force him to make those Circle 2 putts. But even with that said, he's still draining every putt that he gets to. So I don't think even his upshots are really that big of a deal. Here, 17, it is just so clutch, just like Paul last year. He makes the putts when he needs to. And more importantly, he makes his upshot that I think was one of the toughest upshots of his entire career. And he gets within 15 feet and wins USDGC. I do not see any way that his career could have gotten any better. I honestly thought he was just going to be like a podium guy, a top 10 guy. And I thought Vegas was just kind of a fluke for a little bit. But then you see his finishes, and it's just amazing. There is nobody else that has that consistent finish for the year. It is purely on him. And if he would have had a couple more wins, he would have been closer to Player of the Year. He didn't quite get that. But still, to get so many top 10s is insane for a 17-year-old kid. And I think now that we see Vegas, it just shows that he started out of the gate lights out, making these putts so consistently that it's almost annoying. And it's like there's some wind here, and he just doesn't care. Every single putt, laser focused, center of the chains, like it's nothing. And I think it's just important to note that he also has a pretty crazy distance game. On some of his videos, he shows how he generates like 550 of distance without even trying. It looks like he's just kind of like throwing a putter. But he can generate so much force because he has perfect form and perfect power generation. And he gets in that power pocket so easily. So he makes distance shots like these, which was actually a pretty lucky shot, and makes it look so effortless and repeatable. And I think having this mindset where every shot is gettable is something that I think the pros need to get. I think Robinson had this in spades over the year, where he made every putt just look so easy and had extreme confidence. And I think Gannon has that plus more. And I think this is just going to have to be how the tour proceeds when it comes to people winning pro tours. But then you have instances like these where you just get unlucky, you go OB. But I think that's just kind of a fluke, just one unlucky moment. Because here we see, even in the most stressful moments of his career, he makes these putts. He makes this incredible upshot like it's nothing. And I just don't even know how to fathom this moment. If I'm that person, I'm missing that shit out of 10 times. And I think it was important to look at his missed shot because that was dead center, just a little high on an uphill putt. So here we see him just draining more putts, and you look at it and it just looks like a replay of the last putt. So consistent all the time. And then he comes to Ledgestone, and it seems like it'd be a different challenge that he might not be able to master. But nope, he still destroys, still makes his repeatable putts. He doesn't get as many birdies at Ledgestone, but he still finds a way to finish third place. And it's because he has the game figured out. There is no one else that has this skill set. I used to think that Paul was untouchable for like a certain game, but I actually think no. I think if you have the fundamentals, if you have the confidence, and you can make those putts, then you are just as good as any tournament Paul's in. And I think it was actually funny that Paul said one of his tournaments that Gannon won, he had no way of winning. Paul knew that Gannon was just playing out of his mind. Here we see the most amazing shot ever. Gannon was playing so out of his mind that he was basically unreachable. And if you can have that statement come out of Paul, then I think it shows that you are something special. Clearly, with this insane par save, it is true to form. So that concludes this awesome Gannon compilation. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please subscribe. Wild Runs, signing out. Peace.
So that putt on 17, out of the hand, clearly OB, get the luckiest drop right into the heart, walk us through it, and just get such a huge break down the stretch.
You know, I like to think that I'm not actually even good at this game. I just talk to my disc.